Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. Let's get into Look at This Here, Volume 2. All right, if you're brand new to my channel, I break down TV shows and like entertainment, pop culture news, one video at a time. So if you enjoy that type of content, consider subscribing to the channel. Thumbs up the video if at any point throughout the video I make you laugh, smile, or even piss you off. And then meet me down in the comment section, y'all, so we can talk about um, anything that I brought up in today's video. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with some rest in pieces. All right. Rest in powers, rest in peace, Godspeed, whatever you guys want to call it. So first, we want to start off with Harry Belafonte. So Harry Belafonte died a couple of days ago from congestive heart failure, or we'll say heart failure, at the age of 96. So we know that Harry Belafonte was huge in the Black community, right? He was a civil rights leader. He was an activist. He was an entertainment giant. He sold 1 million records. He was a humanitarian, and some people are calling him the conscience of the world. So he was 96. He had, it was congestive heart failure. His wife Pamela was by his side at the time. So most notably, I feel like Harry Belafonte, or what I know him from, what I remember him the most from, is his song, the Banana Boat song, the Day-O song. Because whenever I think of that song, I think of that episode of Fresh Prince. Remember when when Will Carlton and was that Aunt Janice was trying to get Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv back together because they was beefing about Uncle Phil going into politics. So I always think of, whenever I think of Harry Belafonte, I think of that song. But he's huge. He's so much more than that song. They said that he has always called on the younger generation underneath him to make sure that they were doing the right things. You know, he scolded Jay-Z and Beyonce for not doing what they were supposed to do with their social responsibilities that he felt at the time. He was a mentor to people like Usher, Common, Danny Glover, and many, many more. We know that he was also an actor. He was in Spike Lee's movie Black Klansman, which came out in 2018. Rest in peace, rest in power. No matter how old somebody is, it is still hard. He's lived a very long, full life at 96, but it's still like, dang, Harry. So rest in power to Harry Belafonte. Another rest in peace goes on to Dancing with the Stars judge Len Goodman. He was 78 years old. So he had bone cancer. So he was diagnosed with bone cancer. I feel like a couple years ago. I could be off with that. But I don't want to confuse him with like the host. But I feel like, was he the one that like didn't really want Chris Brown to come and dance on the show as like not like a contestant, but like to perform? Was that him? I liked Lynn. I really liked Lynn. Um he was very respected on the show because he gave you a straightforward critique. If you missed the jump, if you missed the turn, if that was not the proper technique for a move or for something, he wasn't gonna mince his words. He wasn't gonna try to, sugarcoat it. It was gonna be like, that was wrong. We're gonna have to dock you some points because you did it wrong. So I'm sure the dance world is really gonna feel his loss of presence. So rest in peace to Len Goodman. All right. So let's get into some update news. So I told y'all, or I reported on, or I reminded y'all about what happened with Jamie Foxx last week. So more news is coming out. I stated that I thought that Jamie Foxx suffered a stroke because of how hush hush, quiet, cryptic they were being about everything. Not only his family, Corinne put out the news, but like just other celebrities. And whenever you have other celebrities that are popping out saying, oh yeah, keep Jamie in prayer, we're lifting you up, people start posting the old pictures and videos of you, it's something serious. So a insider, an inside source, spoke to Rap Radar, or was it Radar Online? Spoke to Radar Online, and they're saying that Jamie Foxx reportedly suffered a stroke, but he is now awake and alert and slowly recovering. So I feel like the longer that this prolongs, the more news is going to start coming out. Right? Because I think it was even a couple of days ago that they were like, yeah, Jamie is now, he's awake and alert. And when you hear that, it's like, oh, that means it's something serious, because that means you were not always awake and alert. You know what I mean? So we are still praying for Jamie. I know there's been some criticism because of his movie. So he's doing this movie with Cameron Diaz, which is pegged as like her return to the screen, and they resumed filming. I want to say it was like a week after they paused filming because of Jamie's medical condition, his stroke, allegedly his stroke. And they've resumed filming. I believe it was on the 17th, and they have a stunt double, a body double that's standing in. And it's so many people that are like, they didn't care about Jamie and blah, blah, blah. It depends on where they are in filming, y'all. To my knowledge, there was only a week or so left in filming the movie. So if they're using this stand-in to just stand in some scenes where it's like, a walking away scene, or to redo some stuff, I mean, at the end of the day, the show does have to go on. So if they can, it's not like they're replacing Jamie, but if they're going to keep filming the parts that they can without him so that his work doesn't go in vain, whatever he's already filmed isn't just, a total waste because we have to throw this footage out, let's keep the show going. Let's keep the show moving. But still prayers to Jamie Foxx. We're still praying for a full recovery. There are different levels to a stroke. You know what I mean? I have members and people in my family that have suffered strokes, and they came out on the other side of it in various stages. You know what I mean? So thankfully they were able to find him in time and stuff like that. Oh, it also came out that he had to be revived. So it does make you wonder, how long was he out? You know what I mean? Is he going to be the same Jamie Foxx that he was before? So I feel like the way that they're saying this slow recovery and stuff, it's scary as a fan to not know what's happening. I'm sure it's terrifying for his family, and his friends that are close with him. So keep Jamie lifted up, y'all. Let's keep Jamie lifted up in prayer, just because you don't want to hear about anybody having this type of physical or mental incapacity at any point. And like, just a medical emergency is scary. So in Spin the Black news, so next up, let's talk Ashanti and Nelly. So we know we went up for Ashanti and Nelly when they were first together, right? When they were first together as a couple, we loved them. We absolutely did. We went up for them. Nelly was fine. Ashanti was fine. Everybody's good looking. Everybody's rich. Everybody seemed very unproblematic. But then it started to go on and on and on, where it's like, oh, so y'all ain't married yet, huh? Y'all are never, what's really going on that a young, attractive couple like this that seems to be on top of the world, what's going on that y'all haven't taken that next step? Then they broke up, and we found out that it was because Nelly cheated on Ashanti. Okay? If I recall correctly, she caught him in bed with somebody. I could be wrong. Y'all will let me know down below. So they went all these years without seeing each other, anything, no contact whatsoever. I'm sure they've probably been at the same award shows and stuff like that, just in passing. So we had the verses last year, Ja Rule versus Fat Joe. We knew Ashanti was going to be there because she was that verses for a while. They had Ashanti, she did at least 5 songs in a row. Felt like she did her verses all over again. But they had Ashanti come out, and then I think it was Fat Joe brought Nelly out for that god-awful song that they have together. And we saw Nelly walk across stage and do the "where my hug at" type shit that niggas like to do, right? And it seemed that from that moment, they've been back together. So Ashanti did some interviews right after Ashanti did some interviews right after that verses where everybody was like, "Oh, we saw you and Nelly hug. How was that?" And Ashanti said that she had not seen him or like verbally, and by seen I mean we're in the same like really same space in years. She hadn't talked to him or anything. There started to be some signs, right? I picked up on it right away when somebody, I think she was on the Angie Martinez show, and Angie asked her, would you guys get back together?" And Ashanti didn't say no. It wasn't a yes, but it definitely wasn't a no, right? It definitely wasn't a no. So there started to be some signs over the past couple months where we would, how celebrities like to post where they are as if we're not gonna be, I don't know who y'all are that check all these other like celebrity Instagrams, like y'all be really catching that this celebrity did this and this celebrity posted this picture, but just from a different angle. That is always fascinating to me how y'all can catch that. So people have been catching Nelly and Ashanti like seemingly posting at the same event, same thing, at the same, they're out at the same vacation spot. So they have started to be at the same concerts together. Now it went from them not even performing the damn song "Body on Me," either one of them, because it's a song that they have together, to now we see them performing the song. Shit got real. Shit got real when the fight over the weekend, Garcia versus, what's Tank's last name? Davis? Javante? When they came in with Jermaine Dupri and they were seated together at this fight. Now, when you come out to a fight, you want people to see you. So that was a, pop out moment. I said, get into it. Get into it, y'all. If y'all gonna spin the block and do it right this time. So seemingly, they are now back together. You see this picture here. There are pictures, numerous pictures of them holding hands. They seem happy. I just feel like this time, Nelly, y'all are too old to be playing the games. Cornelius. And his name Cornelius? Because I don't think it's Cornell. Is it Cornell Hayes? Cornell, Nelly, it is, y'all are too old to play the games, right? Y'all are in y'all 40s. Ashanti's what, 42, 43? Nelly got to be pushing 50 in another couple years. Nelly's going to sneeze and be 50. Let's not play games. I'm not going to say that you have to get married, but there should be no more sneaky links on the side. Y'all should be faithful. It should be monogamous. Like, Ashanti, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, it's going to be on you, girl. It's going to be on you. So if you're going to jump into this and you're going to split the block with Mr. Hayes, make sure that you're not getting played. That's all I'm going to say. But I mean, they still look good together. They seem happy together for now. So hopefully this works out for the best. It is Cornell Hayes. Just a side note. Next up, Toni Braxton. So we found out that Toni Braxton had heart surgery last year. So Toni was on the Today Show and she did an interview and she's talking about her latest health scare. So we all know that Toni has systemic lupus, right? She's been very vocal about her lupus diagnosis. When her and her sisters had Braxton Family Values, Toni was very open. We saw her like break the news to her family that she did have lupus. And I believe within a couple seasons later, she talked about how she had some heart issues as a result of her lupus. So she's saying that last year, her lupus began to attack her heart and she almost had a heart attack. So she ended up getting a coronary stent placed in, and it said that is a device that is placed into coronary arteries to ensure the hearts get blood to prevent a blockage from occurring. So she had this procedure done last year, right after Tracy passed away. So she thought that it was just grief and sadness, and like she thought that she was just heartbroken. Went to the doctor anyways. Come to find out, she had a serious situation going on, and she ended up having to have heart surgery. So she said a lot of people do tend to dismiss. A lot of people do tend to dismiss signs and not pay attention to it. It's very important that we go to the doctor, y'all. It is important that we go to the doctor. So she said a couple of days after they did the procedure, they told her it was really touch and go with you, sis. It was really touch and go with you. She said that if she would have skipped that doctor's appointment, she would have had a widowmaker heart attack, which is horrendous to have. A widowmaker heart attack is going to take you out. It is going to take you out. So, I mean, let this be a cautionary tale. You have to go to the doctor, y'all. Don't just pass things off. It's not a big deal. And I feel like if you have to question, should I go to the doctor? Then you should. You know what I mean? So, thankfully, Toni has come through this. Toni Braxton is Toni Braxton, living legend, as Tamar calls her. One of my favorite singers. I can listen to Toni Braxton sing all day. So thankfully, she has come through this, and just word to the wise, y'all. So next up, Latocha Scott. All right. So y'all know that Tasha put out her album. Let me get the album name for y'all. Let's pull up Tasha's album name. But Latocha put out her album, her new gospel album. It came out on Good Friday, which I thought was kind of ironic, but it came out on Good Friday, and it is called The Invitation, A Conversation with God. Now, we commend Tasha for getting out the solo project she has always wanted to get out, okay? So she should be proud of that in itself. Record sales be damned. Tasha should be proud of the fact that she put out this album, right? With Tasha, and I mean, album sales are just not what they used to be. Unless you are Beyonce that can put out a digital album with no marketing, no nothing, and still, go platinum. Unless you are Taylor Swift, who I feel like is the only artist in the world that can put out an album and still sell over 1 million units like first week. If you're not a big name like that, a Jay-Z, a Drake, a Wayne, a Nicki, a Cardi, if you're not big like that, you're not going to do big numbers. But Cardi, and this is according to, it's called like Shady Album Sales. According to that, Latocha sold less than 700 units. I think the number was like 698. So here's the thing. 698 is not good. It's not good. It's not good. We'll say that for starters. 698 is not good. But I am interested to see the backlash that is going to come from this from Motown Gospel. Right? From Motown Gospel. I was watching Color Me Pink. Keisha did a video about this, and she made a lot of very good points about how this says a lot about Motown Gospel, that they were even willing to get in bed with her. They were even willing to do this with her when she is somebody who was slighting her team or slighting her group to come in and do this, right? She's willing to pigeonhole her group, dog her group, drag her group to put her own needs, her own wants, her own desires ahead of the group. So I feel like if you're Motown Gospel, you took a chance on this woman, already knowing she does bad business, and she didn't even deliver for y'all. We all have been saying how hard it is to break in the gospel. Now I've only listened to Tasha's one song that has the video where she's dressed in white. What does it stay? And I like the song, but no part of the song gave me gospel. You can't just throw in God, prayer, Lord, Jesus in the songs, and that doesn't make it a gospel song. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see like what what the terms of her contract were. Is it that, you can put out one album and we're going to put out this one EP, one album with you and see where it goes? Or is it that we are going to give you a 2 or 3 album deal? But this is not good. I know she was looking at them album sales just like this picture. I know she was, because that's how we all were looking at it. Because we all knew that this was going to happen. We all knew this was going to happen. And then we have her sister Tamika, who was on Cocktails with Queens, which is Vivica Fox, Vivica Fox, Lisa Ray, Selena Johnson, and I think Claudia Jordan, their show. And she's saying how she doesn't want to do a second season either because she felt that they didn't promote any of her products. They didn't talk about her cookbook or her spices or anything like that. They focus on the drama. They can only focus on what you give them. That's the thing too. So I know y'all went into that and you didn't know that you were gonna bring up all the drama with your sister. You didn't know that. I think that happened in the moment. But at the same time, you can't be mad. You can't be mad that they focused on something that you said. Reality TV is tough, y'all. It's tough. Don Lemon has got the boot. Don Lemon was let go from CNN after 17 long years. Okay, so Don Lemon went on. He issued. Let me move this around. So he said. All right. So Don Lemon said, I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network. It is clear that there are some larger issues at play. With that said, I want to thank my colleagues and the many teams I have worked with for an incredible run. They are the most talented journalists in the business. I wish them all the best. So Don Lemon is done at CNN. Now, I will say this. Rox caught this. I know y'all watch it for Rox. Rox caught this. She said, she said that Don Lemon was going to get axed. She said it was coming down the pike. Why? Because they started to push this, what is her name? Gayle King and Charles Barkley show. So Don Lemon, I feel like for a while, it seemed like he was on the way out. So CNN has a new program director, I believe, and they want to go a different way. So they want to become more neutral in the way that they report the news. I feel like we all know that if you are Democratic, you are watching more so CNN. If you are a Republican, you are more so watching Fox News because the views align that way, right? So CNN wants to get some more of the Republican views in. So they want to lean a little more in the middle and not as over to the side as they once were. So Don Lemon, I felt like it was a matter of time because he's very outspoken. He's very, very, I'm going to say what I want to say and I want you to know what side I'm on. So Don recently did an interview with someone and I didn't catch the gentleman's name, but I did watch it. And this guy, he was an Indian American, I believe, and he was telling Don how Black people should be receiving and should feel about something. And him and Don are going back and forth, back and forth. And at one point, Don says in his earpiece, I can't keep my train of thought with y'all talking in my ear. So you know that news hosts and TV hosts and all that stuff, they wear an earpiece because they are getting points. They're getting talking points. They're getting rebuttals. They're getting, if something is wrong, they can quickly say, well, that's not right. Let's fact check that. Don didn't want the outside interference. He wanted to go ahead and say what he wanted to say about the topic. So a lot of people are saying that it is part of that, or that is part of the reason he was let go. I don't know if I believe that, because I feel like he's always been that way. So after Don issued his little statement, CNN said, no, Don will forever be a part of the CNN family, and we thank him for his contributions over the past 17 years. We wish him well and will be cheering him on in his future endeavors. CNN said that they are stunned and they're calling his version of events inaccurate. They said that he was offered an opportunity to meet with management, but instead released a statement on Twitter. So basically, CNN probably said, look, you can come on in and talk to somebody in management. Maybe we can come in the middle. We can work something out. Don didn't want to do it, and he took that as a firing, and he went on Twitter. It's caused a mess, right? Because now we have Al Sharpton that is coming out and speaking out and demanding justice, and we need to know what happened. It has caused an entire mess. But like Rock said, we got to get one black out so we can usher in two more. So starting soon, it's going to be a program called King Charles, which is going to star Gayle King and Charles Barkley as they talk about politics, entertainment, sports, everything. It's a everything kind of show. Charles Barkley said he don't want it to be too political. When in the first line it says they are talking about politics. I feel like this is not going to be what it should be. This show is not what CNN thinks it's going to be. Charles Barkley is going to offend somebody within the first episode. He's not going to apologize. He's not going to care. His behavior, not behavior, but he's not going to change who he is to fit in on this network. And Gayle is there to get a bag. Because if Gayle's going to do anything, she's going to get a bag, right? So, y'all, what do you guys feel about this whole Don Lemon situation? I mean, Don will land back on his feet. I'm sure he can go get hired at MSNBC. Are they connected in any way? Don can get back, right? So then on the other side of the aisle, Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox News. So the most interesting thing about Tucker is that he was the leading primetime host over on Fox. So he was like big shit over there. So they said that, I guess one of the big reasons that he was let go is because even though he was a Republican and he's going, screaming that the election was rigged and, they cheated and all this stuff and talking about the Dominion voting machines and all of that stuff, when he clocked out of work, when the earpiece came out and he loosened up that tie, he would be in text messages bad-mouthing Trump. Bad-mouthing some of the things that were going on. You know what I mean? Like, you're bad-mouthing your boss. You're bad-mouthing the executives. You're bad-mouthing you're going against everything that you're saying on screen. So it looks away. Come to find out, he hated Trump. He was never a fan of him. But he was just a talking head on Fox because he wanted to get that bag. So Carlson, Tucker Carlson, then said that his remarks about Trump, whatever I said negatively about him, was during a momentary spasm of anger. No, you meant that shit. You meant that shit. But now that you done got fired, and now that the Republicans are done with you, they done threw you away, now you want to backpedal and moonwalk. Don't moonwalk, baby. Stand in what you said. Get into it. Don't moonwalk on it. And then he said that his dislike, why they're saying that his dislike of the executive was deep and enduring. If you don't like your boss that damn much, then maybe you don't need to be there. I mean, make me no mind. Makes me no mind, but it does make you wonder how many how many of these talking heads on Fox News or even CNN or MSNBC, how many of them are there saying whatever just to get a bag? You know what I mean? How many of them are saying whatever it is that they need to say, making people think that they are completely one way when they're a complete different way just to get that money? It makes you wonder. Really makes you wonder. Are these people that do go up for Trump, these people that do go up for Biden, when they're going up and they're, praising them for everything or dragging them, do they really feel this way? Or is it, I'm okay with being a talking head for y'all because I'm about to rake in all these M's that come along with it? I guess we'll never know. But let me know what you guys thought about everything we talked about. Hop in the comment section down below. If you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video. And I will catch you guys in the next one for something. Peace.